What's up, guys? This is the Board Game Roamer. I'm back with Tiny Epic Quest, game by game on games created by Scott Alms. This is the fifth round, the final round in the solo variant that we're doing right now. So at the end of this round, we'll count up our points, see how well we did, and I'll just kind of give you some of my final thoughts on the game. And so, yeah, at this point, hopefully you've watched the other four videos. If you haven't, then you're probably going to be really confused, or you know how to play the game and you just want to see how poorly I did. So you can check that out at the end. But for now, let's just continue on with day 5. I've already shuffled the movement cards. They are under here. So let's pull the first two movement cards. The first one is Raft. The second one is Ship. So let's think for a second where all we need to go. It would be nice to complete the water temple. Excuse me, the ice temple if I could, because that would give me the legendary sword. It would be nice to complete the water temple, if at all possible, because that would give me a quest card. And so I think, as such, we're going to start with by ship. Exhaust that. We're going to move our meeple with the lantern around the coast here to the ice temple, and hope that that's what we can get tonight. Next card is by horse. So by horse, of course, we will go to this is going to work out because we can possibly complete the water temple. So let's move our meeple, doesn't matter which one, to the water temple. That was by horse. And whoops, replace the next one with by foot. By raft. By foot and by raft. Okay. Yes, this is going to be perfect. So we're going to choose by foot first. We can go one map card in any direction. So we're going to move our final meeple that's on the castle to this grotto. This is the grotto, if you remember, where we roll the dice and any torches or any scrolls we can immediately use. And if you'll notice, the ice temple is torches. The water temple is scrolls. So now we can use both of those symbols. So let's go ahead and roll the dice. Anything else that's not one of those two things is ignored. And wow, how about nothing? Awesome. Can I get a re-roll? No, unfortunately not. So that is by foot. And finally, that just leaves us the last two by raft and by griffin. I'm going to opt to move by raft. And I'm going to move down one map card here because this was already red and I'm ending on that card. I do not have to pay the power points to move past it. But this says advance one of your heroes one space on a temple track. I guess I'm going to go with water just because. No, I'm not going to go with water. I'm going to go with ice because that was worth. Well, let's see. Okay, so let's see strategically. Let's assume I've got 4 quests here completed. So if I complete 5 quests over here on my sheet, the difference between 4 quests and 5 quests is 2 points. But the sword is worth 4 points. So if I finish the ice temple, then I could probably get 2 more points than if I just completed the water temple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to opt to say move my meeple on the ice, which actually kind of works out because he is the cheaper meeple to move through. And that is, wow, that quickly. That is that round. Solo goes really quick. 2 4-player game would go a lot slower. Not to say that it would take forever, but it would definitely go slower because everybody's deciding on where they want to move, and then of course rolling going around will take a lot longer too. So that takes care of that. And next up is the night phase, where we adventure and hope we complete these 2 temples so that we can get a few points. Alright, so here we go. We are definitely going to put a little card down here, adventure, and roll them up. So, first thing we gotta do is resolve the damages. First damage we ignore because we're at spell level 0. Second damage we'll take. I'll choose not to block that because I want to save as much power as I can to guarantee that I get through these temples. 1 mushroom. We move our magic track up by 1. Still at spell level 0. 2 goblins. We're not on anything with a goblin, so those don't count. And let's continue to adventure. And goodness me, same thing again with the goblins. We're going to take 1 more damage. The first one we ignore, the second one will take damage. Then we have a power. We're already at max. Then we have a spell track. Move that up 1. And a goblin that we can't use. And before I roll again, I'm going to go ahead and opt to use. I have 5 power. That's actually enough power to get me all the way to the end of this track, if I wanted to do that. So I'm going to use 3 of that to move him, and the other 2 to generate scrolls to move here. So, gosh, do I want to do that? No. Oh, goodness. No, I take that back. We're going to guarantee that we finish this ice temple. That could be a bad move on my part, but it is what it is. Rolling up. Alright, so we have 1 damage, which does nothing because we're still at level 0. 1 power, so that does give me 1 power. And then we've got 2 magic track. So that is going to put the magic track at 1, 2. That is going to put it in the level 1. So now we take a damage from the first goblin, none from the second, and then 1 from the third on. And we take no power from the first power die and 1 from all the subsequent power dies. So I will continue to, drop the dice all over the floor. I'm going to go ahead and continue to roll. Alright, so we have 1 power, 1 damage. Because we are where we're at on the track, that is going to be an actual damage. I'll just go ahead and take it. So we go from 5 to 4. Then we have a power. I'm also going to take that. Then we have 2 torches, which is unfortunate because look at where we were at down here, which now can't be used, and a goblin, which also cannot be used. Yeah. Alright, so this is the last round. I got to do it again. Okay, well, everything just generically gets resolved. So there is 1 scroll. So, boom, 1 scroll. Torches and goblins do nothing. So we won't be able to do anything with those. And continue to adventure. Alright, we have 1 goblin. That is 1 damage. I'll take that down to 3. We have 1 power. I will take that from 2 to 3. Then we have 1 magic, which will take us 1 more on the magic track. So now we're halfway through level 1 on the magic track. And then we have our goblin, which does nothing. So we're going to hang out there. Let's roll it again. Alright, so we have 1 more power. That'll put us to 4. We have 2 magics. That's going to put us 1, 2 into the level 2 of the magic track. 1 scroll, 1 fist, 1 scroll is going to let us move here. So at this point, we can't gain any power, and we take all the goblin attack damage. I keep saying goblin. We take damage, full damage, unless we block it. Of course, we do have the shield, so we can get lucky. We're so close to. Let's do it. Let's roll it. We're so close to completing that water temple. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, so 2 damage. I'll take both of those. Power does no good, and the torches do no good. And let's roll 1 time. The only reason I'm rolling is because I have a lot of power. I can block a lot of damage. If I don't roll all attack damage from the goblin attack face there, then I'll be okay. If I rolled all 5, I couldn't block it all, and then that would be very unfortunate. Alright, so we got 1 more on the magic track, which doesn't really do anything. Power, of course, we cannot gain anything from power. Once again, 2 torches. Golly, and the goblin. I should have moved the other one. Oh well. It is what it is. Adventure 1 more time. Okay, things are looking up. 1 damage. I will have to use a power to block that. No power. Spell track does go up. That is at 3. Then I have 2 scrolls and a torch. Okay, so I only need 2 scrolls. I have 3 power to keep from dying or getting knocked out. I definitely have the ice completed. Alright, we gotta do it 1 more time. I'm so close. Let's just see what happens. Okay, I have to use 1 power to block that damage. That takes me to 2 because of the shield. 1 power, which I don't get. And mushroom. I'm just looking here. Yeah, mushrooms. I'm all the way at the top, so nothing can happen. And goblin, excuse me, the attack icon. I really, really, really would like to press my luck again, but at the risk of losing the sword and a spell level, and I could just lose a lot of points, I guess is what I'm saying. So I think, although I was so close, if I'd just used this power to move my scrolls instead of my torches, I would have actually had those both completed. But I mean, I didn't know. You know, you never know. That's just how it goes. So I think I'm going to rest. However, I am curious. I'm probably going to beat myself up over this. Oh, shoot. Oh, goodness. Hold on. I am going to roll just to see what would have happened. And I could have blocked it. No, I could have blocked a damage. That would have been at 0. Yep, and if I'd have rolled 1 more time after that, couldn't have got it. So, that's good to know. I'd have probably felt really bad if that wasn't the case. Okay, so that is the end of the 5th day. Go ahead and do the night phase like we normally would do. just for completion purposes. Anybody on a portal? Nobody's on a portal. Anybody on an obelisk? Nobody's on an obelisk. Anybody on the last space of a temple track, which is this guy here, does go back. We get a power or life. It doesn't really matter. We'll give him 2 life. No, we'll give him 1 power. He's still alive. That's the important part. And because we completed the ice temple, we do get the sword. And in classic fantasy style, we will give the sword to the guy with the shield. So we've got a sword and board meeple. And that will do that. We would then reset the magic track, and we would flip 3 goblins to the aggressive side. Well, there's only one that's not aggressive, so he would flip. We would get rid of the quest. Those would all scoot down. This would flip over. Oh, look, there's a Shadow Temple quest. And so those would be good. So, not that that really matters because it's not going to change the points that we get. So, let's calculate our points right quick. So, let's pull this off here. So, let's go to our chart. This is our chart. That will probably not focus for me. Focus. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold on. I am going to use another piece of software. Yes. And if I hold this up here, there we go. All right. So, here's our track. So, spell track. We have, oh, I don't have that over there. Spell track, spell level is 2. So that's going to give us -1 point. Great. Quests, we completed 4 quests. So that gives us 6 points. So that's a total of 5 points so far. We completed 2 goblins. Over here, that's 3 points. So that's 8 points. And then we get 4 down here at the bottom. 4 for each legendary item. We have 2. So that's 8 plus 8 is 16 points. So we scored 16 points. And I'm almost afraid to look. I guess let me fix this right quick, just so that we are consistent with my own screen. Spell level 2. Okay. And let's move this up just a hair. There we go. All right. So, 16 points. So let's look in the book here. Somewhere there's like a, yeah. So here's kind of with a solo, it gives you a list. You kind of like choose one to go for. I didn't choose one. But the lowest level is 40. So clearly, I am what you might call, yeah. I'm not doing so hot. Hmm. So there you go, 16 points. That is Tiny Epic Quest. So thoughts about the game. I'll just start with kind of the surface level stuff. Um, Art is excellent. I really like the art. It's not, super detailed necessarily. I mean, there is a lot of detail, but not like super detailed. But the bright colors I really like. There's a lot of, I mean, it's just pretty. The bright colors, and then it's fantasy, which, I mean, you said fantasy, so you pretty much got me there. But I really like it. The map cards are good. I like how the art is different. Like, for instance, on the Magic track, right? The art's a little bit different, but it still doesn't, even though it's different, it doesn't clash with the rest of the art on the cards. I do like that. Um, so that's good. Card quality, I feel like the cards are, I mean, they're pretty good cards. Not super super thick, but they're plenty thick enough. They feel like they've got a good finish to them. They all have the linen finish to them. A little bit of texture. They shuffle well. They feel sturdy. They feel good in your hand. I like that. Um, so gameplay, I like the item equals. I really like that idea. I like that you have these quests to equip, and that some things it doesn't matter. Like this shield, doesn't matter who I put it on. Just have to have somebody to put it on. Um, but there are some things that matters, like the sword would have mattered when I was doing attacks. The lantern mattered. I do like that because it does make you think, and it does kind of change tactically what you choose, because I've got to be careful. When I commit somebody to a move, when I give them the lantern, then I'm, kind of committing them to being able to want them to do dungeons. So if something happens and there's not a good place to do a dungeon, or in a multiplayer game, if a dungeon I needed already had two other people on it, then that meeple is kind of not useful. Uh, Except for, I mean, it's useful, but not near as useful as it could be, and I'm really wasting that power. So I think that there is a lot of tactical decision making. I think once you get into multiplayers, there's definitely a lot more. Obviously, I'm not really vying with anybody for a spot on the map here, um, because the goblins flip slower. Instead of flipping them all, only flipping one. I don't have to worry as much about movement and losing power to movement, where I would be worried about that if I was playing with multiple players potentially. And um, it's still super fun. I mean, it's definitely great. The rules are not complex. I do not feel like they're anywhere near complex. Um, they're simple enough that somebody that's just getting into it, I feel like, could get this. I mean, it may be a slightly deeper game for a gateway game, but at the same time, I feel like it's got a lot of elements. You kind of have a leveling up, the idea of leveling up and getting experience because you're trying to complete quests, your spell track's moving. You got cards that are letting you do things, trying to complete the quest, and those cards give you points. They tell you what your items do. You got the dice rolling there. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on, and I think it's if it was a gateway game that you're looking for, especially if they love fantasy, then I think this is definitely a game that you need to jump on. Um, and like I said, this was the solo playthrough. I like that all the player cards are different. So the four player colors, there's blue, red, yellow, and green. Each one of their cards, as I mentioned in the first video, does have a different order for these temples. Okay, and different temples, because that's not. I don't believe that's all the temples. One. Well, maybe that is all the temples. Yeah, that is all the temples. But the order's different to unlock the different items for everybody. So it's not like you're all going to be going for the same set of temples necessarily at the same time. Of course, part of that, like I said, is going to be determined by the quest cards, because, fortunately for me, it happened that, like, the fire temple, I needed it to get the lantern, but I needed it for the sword. On another card, that may have been the second one for the shield, right? So, um, lots of variance in the game. I think that's great. Replayability wise, definitely. I think there's a lot of replayability because you do have a randomness with the dice at night. And if you take a lot of damage or you exhaust all your power, then it's really going to affect how much you can do. There is a certain limitation with the movement cards, but in solo, I don't think that's as big a deal because, like I said, you're not vying for spots. Um, Also, I like that whether you're playing multiplayer or whether you're playing single player, remember all the backs of these cards have the second side, which is called Gloomhaven. And essentially, what this side does is it makes the game more difficult. So, for instance, here on this front side, you have one torch, two torch, two torch. On the back side, you have one torch, two torch, two torch, two torch. So, temples are going to be harder to get through. Also, when you're playing Gloomhaven, there are a couple of additional Gloomfall things going on. So, for example, let me find a Grotto card here. So this is move one of heroes up to 3 map cards. And then this says move another hero to a temple that matches a treasure quest card in the quest row. So all of these grottos change and add a little bit more variability to what your normal game you're expecting. So I do like that. So you do have options. So if I wanted to play something a little bit harder and challenge myself, which clearly I need to work on my basic game since I only got 16 points, but let's not talk about or dwell on that. I could flip those over and do that. So just a really great game. I mean, I'd score this one up there. Definitely one. If you don't have it, I would highly suggest you get it. It is absolutely amazing to me that a box that's really not that big. I mean, look, guys, like that's my hand. The cover is basically the box is the size of my hand, and there's just a absolute ton of game in that box. So hope you enjoyed this playthrough. We'll do another playthrough here soon. I've got a couple ideas that I'm thinking of. Got to decide what I want to do. But hope you have enjoyed the series. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great rest of the week and hope you had a great Thanksgiving and you have an awesome Christmas. Thank you for being part of the channel. Thank you for being a part of my life and being part of the community that we have. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Leave your comments below. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys and gals in the next video. See you later.